All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Mega Marketing Plan for Your Listings, with KW Maps coaches Alexis Weigand and Emily Baker. Please note this meeting is being recorded and will be available within 24 hours on the Maps Fast Track YouTube channel. You may access the YouTube channel from your Zoom confirmation email, and we will share the link in the chat momentarily. Currently, everyone is on mute. We do value group participation, so we ask that if you have questions, please type them into the chat box. Your questions will be addressed by your coaches throughout your webinar. Following the meeting, if you have any questions about today's call or coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's all for me. Alexis and Emily, take it away.
Thanks, Madeline. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Mega Marketing Plan for Your Listings. Go ahead. I'd love to see where you all are from. Put it in the chat what city and state that you're from. While you're doing that, my name's Emily Baker. I'm a Maps Mastery coach, and I facilitate the Fast Track program, the Mega Listing Agent, with my business partner, Alexis Weigand, who's on here. She is the lead listing agent and rainmaker out of a team in San Antonio, Texas. So we are excited to, I'm seeing a lot of Texas too. So we're excited to dive in today on what truly matters when marketing properties. You know, the goal of our listings is really to generate additional listing leads, right? The goal is also to get the properties sold. So we're going to go through a framework of the 5 buckets that really matter when it comes to creating a mega marketing plan. So Alexis, why don't you take us away?
Sure. All right. So step number 1, condition matters. When we have an increase in inventory, we have an increase in competition. I want you to put it in the chat channel if your market has shifted into having more inventory in the last 3 months. And if it does, I also want you to tell me how many are you double the inventory? Are you 1.5 times the inventory? Do you not know? Okay, so I see we're 4 times, 2 months. Yep. So here in San Antonio, at the beginning of April, we were at 4,100 active listings. Today, we sit at 8,400. We have literally doubled in the last 3 months. Our competition has doubled for our sellers in the last 3 months. So when we talk about condition, and we'll teach you this in our Mega Listing Agent course on how to run these numbers. But you start with that conversation, and then we also go into, okay, well, what we're trying to do is when we go on the market, we don't want to ever have any reason to come off and go back on the market, because when that happens, we know at a minimum, the seller is going to have to forfeit 5 to 7%. The sales price will have to drop. And for some states, we have contingencies. And in the state of Texas, right, we have the due diligence, the option period. So a lot of times in a market like this, we'll go under contract, they'll do an inspection report, and then they get scared. There's a lot of doubt created. And what ends up happening is they terminate and we go back on market. And then the seller is forced to do at least a 5 to 7% price reduction. So the way that condition matters is if you have the ability, which we run this on all of our listings, we do a pre-inspection. The seller pays for it, and we just let them know, hey, you're always going to be able to play offense and not defense when you can be proactive, when you're open and honest, and you provide a full inspection report. What that means is when we go under contract, irregardless if there's an option period or not, we don't have to negotiate on something that's already been disclosed. So now when the buyer typically comes in, gets a 45, page inspection report that just has a ton of things that they weren't aware of, when our sellers have proactively done it, they were already aware. So it eliminates the ability for the buyer agent to come back and renegotiate. So when we talk about condition matters, I think the biggest thing I want you all to take away with is you can, for very inexpensively, you can have your sellers do a pre-inspection report to cover all of the condition versus consulting them to put a bunch, like several thousands of dollars into the house to improve the condition. We just want to be able to disclose up front. And that way we're playing offense, not defense in negotiations. Emily, would you add anything to that?
No, I love communicating with a seller. Would you rather play offense or would you rather play defense throughout the negotiation period?
Yeah. And just really quickly, it's also an investment, right? When we explain it that, hey, we have a way where you can invest about $500 or $600, because that's typically what a full inspection report costs for our sellers. And we can show you how that's going to save you at least $7,500 to $10,000. Would you be interested in learning more about that? Absolutely. Right. If I asked you guys, hey, I have a way for you to go spend $500 to make $10,000 all day long, you'd want to hear about that. And that's the reality. They're making an investment such that they're removing the ability for our second period negotiations. All right, let's go to the next slide. Presentation matters. So again, when we have double the competition, it's like stepping into a pageant or a beauty contest. The houses that show the best are typically the ones that are going to receive the offers first. So never underestimate the power of professional photography, videography, and signage. Gosh, there are so many directions that you can go with this with your seller. So first off, I think giving some consultation on, sellers are always interested on what they can do quickly and for very little money to help their house sell for more money. And so for the lion's share of us, that's going to be power washing, getting someone in to do a full deep clean, getting someone to do grout cleaning. If y'all haven't suggested grout cleaning to your clients and you want to show them before and afters, they're incredible. Someone to come in and just repaint the baseboards. If they have white baseboards and they've had dogs or young kids, these things are really inexpensive. They can be done quickly within a week, and it can really freshen a home up. So when we meet with sellers, our 2 words that we are repeating to them are simple and stress-free. Our goal is to make this whole process simple and stress-free for you. So yes, we would recommend power washing, window washing, a deep clean, and a grout cleaner, someone to come clean your carpet and stretch it. No need to replace it. We can save you a ton of money by doing like these 5 things. What do you think their next question is? Even just as simple as you and I know that those are really simple things that are inexpensive. Put in the chat channel, what do you think their question is? Are you going to pay for it? How much does it cost? How much will it cost? So yes, that's actually not the first question I get though. And I bring this up on almost every single listing appointment. The question that I get is, yeah, that's great. Do you have someone to do the work? I don't have a cleaner. I don't have a window washer. I don't have, they typically were meeting with people that are husband and wife work. They're willing, right? If we can go get all of this for under $1,000, they're absolutely willing. They just don't want to go research it and then set up the time for someone to come, all of those things. So yeah, Katie, you said, who organizes this for me? This is our opportunity, guys, to go, oh, by the way, our commitment is to keep this simple and stress-free for you. We're going to go ahead and we have all of these people that are affiliates that have done business for our clients. They've had rave reviews. We can go ahead and set this up for you if you like. Would you like us to take care of these appointments for you? Here's the overwhelming response. Oh my God, that's perfect. Yes, thank you so much. So I don't want to, this right here, right? Like Emily will talk about, we don't have to do a ton of things really great. If you just had, let's say those 5 people that were amazing, and you could say, I can get all of this done in the next week, right? I'll have a lockbox. I can get them in. You don't even have to be here. This alone oftentimes will get you a signed listing agreement because it's timeline. They can move quickly. They trust you. So they're going to trust your people. And now the presentation before you send out your photographer is going to be top notch. I don't want to go too
sure.
deep on photography. Just suffice it to say, please don't use your iPhone. I know that iPhones have great cameras and videos. Hire someone, have them do their digital editing. Matterport's big for us here in San Antonio as well. If you can do one thing, negotiate with your vendor and have something that sets you apart from your competition when it comes to photos or video. Anything you'd like to add to that, or you want me to talk about, Emily?
There's a couple questions in the chat for you, Alexis, before we move on.
Okay, Jocelyn, staging. So I'm just going to talk about my personal preferences. Everyone's different. I know that when we list a house, if we were to have the same two houses, one's furnished and it's furnished really well, and one's completely vacant. So we have A, furnished and being lived in, B, vacant. Which one do you think, A or B, gets an offer quicker? Put it in the chat channel. The furnished one that's being lived in, or which is A, or the vacant one, which is B. 100% of the time, the vacant one. The buyer, it's all about perception is reality. The buyer perceives that seller, they make up a story in their head. Oh, they've already moved out. They're more financially motivated. This is going to be a quicker sale. This is going to be an easier sale. It's move-in ready. So I don't ever suggest staging on our listings because I don't ever want things added to the house. I think that a house is photographed. When we look at these vacant properties that are model homes, it's so clean and bright and light. And they're just, it's less is more in photos with houses. And so we don't recommend staging at all. We actually have a lady who, if we have a couple who has a lot of stuff and we have a listing agreement signed with great energy, we'll say, you know what, we do have a designer, not a stager. She can come by. We're going to pay 1 hour of her consultation fee to help her walk you through the house to set you up for success before before we send out our professional photographer. All that person, that designer does for me for $100 is politely tells them to take everything off the wall, everything off the like above the kitchen, like literally just, I'm paying her to slow down and deliver a message with care. That's all I'm doing there. Any other questions I didn't answer? Lawn care. Gosh, guys, I'm in Texas, so everything's dead anyways. We have over 100 degrees we've had over 100-degree weather every day for the last 30 days. So we don't focus a lot on yard care. What I do say around that goes back to presentation. Hey, if it's raining, if your grass is dead, that's okay. We'll make it nice and green for you through our digital editing on your photos. And we do. So that's a digital editing upgrade that we give them. That's not actually having them resawed. Because let's be real, their first showing is online. And the people come through the house for maybe, 20 minutes, and then they're just staring at the photos. Okay.
Awesome. So some of you may be thinking, well, why does condition and why does presentation matter? It's what Alexis just said. If you didn't write that down, use that with sellers for value proposition. Your first showing is online. So when it comes to marketing, the condition and presentation are the foundation of any marketing, right? Because the marketing is all product-based, fair? Our product is the house. If you don't have a great product, does the marketing plan really matter? Does that make sense? So, okay, awesome. So exposure matters. So now that you've got the house together, talking about, internet, we go through database, social platforms, websites, flyers, signage. You don't have to have major marketing plans. You just have to do a few things really, really well. So when you look at these buckets, what I would ask you is, when you are about to list a home or you've signed the listing agreement, right? Professional photography has been taken. How are you marketing that to your database? Are you marketing that to your database? Do your clients know? So that could be through a newsletter. our new listings are here, right? It could be through sending out specific searches. How many of us have searches in our CRMs, on our website platforms? You can sort and see what locations people are looking at or price points, and then reverse target and share that new listing with them and just say, hey, when do you want to go see that? Making sure it's on all the websites, having professional flyers. And the biggest thing here is don't underestimate the signage. And we talk about directionals a lot in our course. When you're taking territory in a market, you want people to see your signs everywhere. You want people to think, gosh, Alexis lists every house here, right? Or it seems like you do all the business here. I see your signs everywhere. Putting out 10 to 15 directionals leading to your listing, even on a corner, putting 3 directionals, right? You know, how many of us have passed a directional and not even noticed? Because we're listening to music, we're chatting with our spouses or our kids, right? We're not even paying attention. So exposure matters. Having your signs out there matter. You want to drive as much traffic to the property. The next slide, we talk about MOFIR. So I just gave you guys a MOFIR just with the database. So what are MOFIRs? MOFIRs are make offer for immediate response. How many of you are using MOFIRs to target audiences to your listings? Okay, so a make offer for immediate response, as an example, is, I'm just going to repeat this, is go to your database. So what are some of the databases that you all use? Go ahead and type it in the chat for me. Command, hey Ozzy, Command, exact, Chime. Okay, awesome. Follow up boss. Okay, so when you have search criterias, which we can see what their search criterias are, right? So when we set someone up on a neighborhood search, we can see the criteria, and you can filter in your CRMs usually on what their criteria is, right? So for example, you can sort by price, you can sort by location, you can filter through. So when you do that and you have a new listing, go ahead and filter through and see how many people are searching for the property that you're about to list, and just shoot it over to them and say, hey, saw this and thought of you. You don't even have to ever have spoken with them. They don't care. They're on your website, right? Hey, saw this and thought of you. When would you like to schedule a showing? Or would you like to see this home? You can do the same thing with MOFIRs on social media. So you can have social media sponsored ads where you can say, schedule here, click here to schedule your private showing. And then it can go to a landing page. All right, activities matter. Open houses, door knocking, circle prospecting, following up on all the leads, mailers, activities matter. This is, you know, we talk about the shifting market, right? Our markets are changing. Used to 6 months ago, you list a house and what would happen?
We'd have 30 offers. Just kidding. We'd have like 10, but
yeah. Some people on this call probably had 30 offers, because I know we had a lot of offers in a lot of different markets. And yeah, you would have really solid offers, right? What's happening now in your market when you list a home?
They're staying on the market longer and fewer offers.
Yeah, we're seeing fewer showings, fewer amounts of offers, and we're seeing our active inventory rise across the nation. When you track it, you will see it. So the question is how do you generate all the activity around your listing, right? What can you control in order to generate prospects and buyers to get the listing sold? Well, number one thing in this market is open houses. I'm seeing across the nation, open houses are booming. How many of you have done open houses and had, more than 5, 10, 15 groups through? Okay, I see Saniqua raising her hand. I know I coach all across. I mean, they are booming right now. 5 to 10, yeah, 5 to 10. Not yet in Montreal. We'll just wait. One of the things that matters with open houses, though, and I will say this, is that the activities you do setting up for an open house matter. So, for example, we don't want to just put a sign in the yard, put some directionals out and show up 15 minutes before, right? We want to door knock. We want to get face to face with these people. So door knocking around the area. We always recommend the model 10-5-5, 10 across the street, 5 to the left, 5 to the right. Circle prospecting. This is targeting the neighborhood, calling the neighborhood ahead and letting them know that the property is going on the market. Now, the good news is when you have open houses and you have 5 to 10 groups through, you can reverse circle prospect from the open house and you can say, hey, I'm not sure if you can help me or not. I was calling, were you the homeowner at 123 Main Street by chance? Okay, hey, I don't know if you know the Andersons down on Lansdowne. Do you know them by chance? No, yes. Well, we just put their house on the market and we had an open house over the weekend. I don't know if you noticed the activity and the traffic, and yet we had 10 groups come through. There are 10 people who are looking to move exclusively in your subdivision. So I thought on a whim, I would give you a call to see what price you'd be willing to sell your home to one of those 10 clients, right? It's a way to get more listings as well. Following up on leads, fortunes in the follow-up, we need to prioritize that. I love PropStream personally for circle prospecting. There's also Cole Realty's resource, RedX, Land Voice. I just find that from what I've seen, PropStream has the most accurate data. And then mailers. So postcards, golden letters. Doing the activities in this market absolutely matter. And it's all around these things that we're giving you is all around what you can say that you're going to do for the seller. Here's what I'm going to do. Most agents will do an open house and they'll do this. Here's what it looks like when I do it. That's the marketing plan that the sellers actually care about. They don't care about the clicks. They don't care, right? All they want is the result. What are you going to do that you can control such that it's going to give them the exposure? And the more exposure they get, the more showings they get, the more showings, the more, potential offers. What did I miss through there, Alexis?
No, I don't think anything except that Gary just always talks about this is an opportunity, right? So instead of being scared or having a scarcity mindset, when you have the ability to take a listing, go do all of these things Emily just walked through. We are getting more calls on our direct mail now and it's not the ones we sent out in the last month. It's the ones that we continue to send out because we send out under contract and just sold. So it's just a touch, right? How many touches can we get in between the door knocking, the circle prospecting, all the mailers, all of it adds up such that when we do shift over time, you grab market share. And that's what we love to teach is how to go capitalize on the market that you're in and gain market share.
Yeah. And just a friendly reminder, if we go to the next slide, we don't have to do everything great. We just have to do a few things great. So from this, if there was one thing that I would do following this call is I would create your marketing checklist that you can follow every time. So you get comfortable presenting it to sellers. Here's my strategic marketing plan. Here's what I'm specifically going to do in order to gain maximum exposure such that you get the result that you desire of selling your home quickly for top dollar in today's market. And we have to document it to duplicate it. So when you have a marketing checklist, for those of you who are I saw a lot of Command, Boomtown, Brevity, make sure that your marketing checklist is an action plan, right? Such that when you sign a listing, you have a duplicatable process that you can just check off every single time. And we know that consistency is key, right? The more that you do it, the more comfortable and confident you're going to be able to explain it. And over time, when you do these activities and marketing efforts, you're going to take market share and you're also going to take mind share. And you want both in a shifting market. And we're all shifting, all of our markets. I've yet to come across one that's not shifting in a certain way.
Yep. All right, Chriselle, next slide. All right, so we want to say thank you. Our time is ending today. It's 1:55 and we have you until 2. So if you liked something that you heard that Emily said today, she's the queen of scripts, or if you liked something that I was able to say, we're going to encourage you to make the investment in yourself, sign up. In 4 weeks, you can get us live for 9 weeks. We have rewritten the Mega Listing Agent, and we launch on Wednesday, September 7th. So 1:30 to 2:30, it's a full hour. We always leave time for Q&A. The QR code is here. So if you want to take a picture of that, that takes you directly to the sign up. And I want to just talk for a second about who this course will benefit. We've had several people now take the course 5 times in a row. And each time they have reached out to us on the survey and they've said, this is what I got this time. This is what I got this time, because we've done, I think, a really great job of keeping it fresh and updating it to match the market. So whether you haven't even taken one listing, or your goal is just to go take one listing a month, or you have a team like me who our goal is to go take more market share, and that's several hundred listings. This course is for you because we're going to walk you through all of the systems, the steps, what to say, how to say it. And like I said, we launched in 4 weeks. Emily, what would you add to that?
I think the only thing I would add is that we just rewrote the whole thing based on a shifting market. So there's a lot of changes when it comes to sellers, right? I've been having a lot of coaching conversations where sellers are just in a vulnerable place right now, right? And it makes sense because the market's changing, and it's changing faster than any of us expected, right? I think we all were talking about, the shift, oh yeah, okay. And it's shifting much faster than all of us had thought that it was going to. So we went ahead and we rewrote specifically for a shifting market on, how do you have price reduction conversations? How do you set price expectations, right? How do you get sellers to be realistic with pricing based on the market that we just came out of? How do you take territory and take market share and mind share in a shift, right? What does that even look like? And then we also got really tactical on checklists of here's the actual checklist and here's the system in order to implement. So we've got really granular on it, and we're really, really excited about it. This is our favorite thing is listings and serving agents to go take more market share. This is what we love to do. So we're grateful for you guys joining us today. And we also have another promo coming up in, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's August 31st. Again, if you just want to mark your calendars for Wednesday at 1:30, Emily and I are usually somehow giving back to the KW community. Our passion is literally 2 things. It's sellers and it's scripts. So if sellers and scripts are your mojo, just time block it on your calendar, reoccurring 1:30 on Wednesdays. But yeah, we're going to be talking about dominating listings in a shifting market. QR code right in front of you. So if you want to go ahead and register for that, we would love to see you. I think, that's a wrap. So we're grateful that you chose to be here with us today and invest in yourselves. And we look forward to seeing you hopefully on August 31st, Wednesday at 1:30. Thanks, guys.
See you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.